Thank you, Mr. President. Members, as a reminder, HB 5 will establish the Department of Family and Protective Services as a standalone agency separate from the Health and Human Services Commission. The goal of separating out DFPS from HHS is to ensure that the department has the appropriate flexibility, accountability, structure, and focus to implement thoughtful policies and reforms, as well as processes that positively impact children and families and improve performance at the department. The conference committee cleaned up language to ensure contracting remains a shared administrative function between HHSC and DFPS, consistent with the spirit of SB 200, the consolidation bill from last session. In addition, the committee discussed language added on the Senate floor to provide protections for nonprofit entities acting as single-source continuing contractors, or SSCCs. The new language was extensively discussed, and it extends the same liability protections afforded to, quote, charitable organizations, end quote, under Chapter 84 of the Civil Practice and Remedies Code only to SSCCs, but not to subcontractors of the SSCC. Members, as we are all aware, DFPS is facing many challenges. Unclear accountability under the current structure often means that decision-making is slow and reactive. My hope is that passage of HB 5 will provide DFPS with the tools to address its crisis culture while still maintaining efficiencies and support within HHSC. I move adoption of the Conference Committee report on HB 5.
Senator Watson, for what purpose do you rise?
I'd like to ask a question of Senator Schwertner.
Does the senator yield?
I yield.
He yields.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thanks for your hard work. I want to talk about the liability change.
Sure.
I had been for this bill, but when it was on the Senate floor, there was an amendment placed on it that basically said that there could not be any liability unless there was a finding of gross negligence. I think what you just said, but I want to make sure we're clear, what you just said is that amendment was taken off, and the way you're addressing liability is to now revert to current law for charitable nonprofits.
Under Chapter 84, that's right. And that was worked with, and I want to recognize Senator Uresti and Senator Huffman regarding their hard work, as well as my House colleagues, to make sure that language was, I think, improved upon for a number of different reasons.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Menendez, for what purpose do you rise?
Mr. President, I was just going to ask similar questions, so I'll dispense with the question and just thank the author, Senator Schwertner and Senator Uresti, Senator Huffman, for their work on that. Especially that issue of the liability was a big concern for me as well. I'm glad we're reverting to current law. That's a very important issue. And based on this, breaking it out, this will still then, the bill that we passed with creating the independent ombudsman for families is going to fit right in within this, correct?
That's absolutely correct, yes.
Right. Thank you very much. Appreciate your work and working with us on this. I think we're a big step forward. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thanks, Senator. Senator Schwertner moves adoption of the Conference Committee report on House Bill 5. Will the Secretary call the roll?
Bettencourt, Birdwell, Buckingham, Burton, Campbell, Creighton, Estes, Garcia.
There being 31 ayes and no nays, Conference Committee report's adopted. Congratulations, Senator Schwertner.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, members, for all the hard work on HB 4, 5, 7, SB 11, and of course the budgetary issues that affect our child welfare system in Texas.